No, you don't. You'll just be right here.
Huh?
You'll just be here.
Oh, I'm okay.
Good morning. I hope all of you here and at home are having a good start to this lovely day. My name is Jeff Meller, and I'm a member of the board of the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I welcome you on behalf of the board, the program council, and everybody here assembled in person or online. If you would like more information about TVUUC, please fill out the visitor information card that is in the back pocket of many of the pews, and you can put it in the collection box or collection basket as it comes around. For those of you who are viewing online, you can go to the church website at tvuuc.org, and on the menu, select Stay in Touch and fill out the virtual visitor's card. As we move forward together, please remember that we are each other's keepers. If you or your family are interested in programs for children, you pass the table coming in here that is currently staffed by Miriam, and you can inform yourself about the really rich panoply of programs we have for children. My daughter and my wife's daughter went through that program about, I don't know, she's pushing 40 now, so it was a while ago. And it was a welcome way to deal with the issues that children deal with, even as they become adults. There's some room for other announcements here. I have one or two myself. Please join us for the December 1st Sunday lunch. The lunch is right after the service in the Greg McHenry Fellowship Hall. The potluck line is as you leave the sanctuary here. It's unavoidable to see where it is, and if you have to get to the restrooms, it's along that hallway. This month we will be celebrating every person who is nominated for the Volunteer of the Month in this year of 2023. Unfortunately, I have another postponement to announce. Today's scheduled adult RE, religious education session on growing our TVUUC Green Sanctuary has had to be postponed, and it will be rescheduled, but I don't have the details. I now have the honor of asking Diane Fox to talk to you about the auction.
Stop, don't do that. I'm not going to make it through this at all. Okay. I need to be closer. Thank you. Okay. I didn't want to cry into the microphone. Okay. I'm going to tell you basic things before I tell you how much money that the auction made. Okay, so the auction reopens at 3 o'clock today for unsold items. So anything that did not sell by the auction date last night at, you're frowning at me, Susan. Okay, the auction date last night at 9 o'clock will reopen, and everything will be available for the fixed price. So if you go back today, it is open from today until Sunday, next Sunday at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. So if you want to see how much you owe, you can go to the auction website and look at my statement. at the very top and see how much you owe and the people who bought what you sold. That will all be there. I want to thank my committee, John and Lillian Mashburn, I'm sorry, Cindy Moffett, Barbara Taylor, and Tim Mathy Klein. Also, I want to thank Linda Randolph, Bill Pierce, and Michael Miller. Okay, so the most we've ever made for the auction was $24,000. The most we ever made. That was with all of the objects in this church, with paying for all of the tables, for paying for a catalog to be sent out, for paying for the postcard, for paying for all the food that was at the party. That all had to be taken out of that $24,000. Last night, we made $22,000.
After the service, as I mentioned, we do have the first Sunday potluck that everyone is welcome to come to. There's also coffee and some apple cider and things to join in conversation and community, either in the Greg McHenry Fellowship Hall or sometimes outside on the patio if the weather permits. Also, as a reminder to me, silence your electronic devices, and maybe you can do the same thing. Ta-da! So, welcome to TVUUC this morning.
It is a good morning to be together. When winter's darkness spreads across the land and cold seeps through our thickest coats, we hurry here, drawn by the warmth of faces familiar and new, to the welcoming halls of this house. Here, for this hour, we open ourselves to new understanding, reassurance, and hope, for this is a place where truth, love, and challenge meet. Welcome. It is a good morning to be together. Now let us worship together.
I invite you to join us in our chalice lighting song, Rise and Body Your Spirit. The words are Gloria in Excelsis Deo, twice through. To join together in our opening hymn, hymn 226, People Look East, an Advent hymn. Our time for all ages this morning is a time to welcome our newest members. So I want to invite our newest members to come. Mark Mahundro, who's our membership coordinator, has been ill this week. So we've got the people we're recognizing. If you were somebody who thought they were in circuit to be recognized, let us know and we'll have a new recognition again. But he's in the hospital, so we were working with the information we have. He seems to be doing okay, the RSV, so let's keep him in our prayers. First, I want to invite Jack Holst forward and also recognize Devon Miller. They are our youth reps and reps on the board and our newest members. Give them an arm. Come on forward. And Jennifer and Sammy Maples come forward. They're coming to us from Maynardville. We have people coming from longer distance to come be with us. And their kids, Dallas and Wyatt. Crystal Bradshaw. You're here. Welcome, Crystal. We have a litany that we use to welcome our newest members. Your part is easy. You just say, "We welcome you." So practice. We welcome you. Wonderful. Let's get Crystal up here too. All right. There we go. Today we welcome into our community our newest members. We are so excited to have you join our congregation. We invite you to bring your faith, your doubts, your values, and your questions, your devotion, and your skepticism. We look forward to getting to know you better and learning more about your ideas, your hopes, and your dreams. We look forward to learning more about your gifts and your talents, your values and your vision, your generosity of spirit, your personal qualities, and your quirkiness. We offer you a place where you can be yourself, where honesty is the first step towards spiritual growth, where you can be free to share your beliefs without fear of censure or reprisal, and where different points of view are honored in our common life. We welcome you. At the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, we aspire to be a place where people of all faiths can find common ground and work together for the common good. So let us begin our shared work together to make our congregation and our world a welcoming place for everyone. We welcome you. Welcome. Now we will sing the Ark Song.
Wonderful. Wonderful's the word. Absolutely. Absolutely. And welcome and good morning to everyone here in the building and to everyone watching on the live stream. A concern and a joy, and most of these are a blend, actually. Dick Trowbridge had successful surgery and is at home recuperating. So it's a concern and a joy. Jim Hartsville shares that his 8-year-old daughter, whose leukemia has unfortunately recurred, has finished a round of chemo and was able to go home for a week for Thanksgiving. Although she will be going back to the hospital on Monday to start another round of chemo, as well as some evaluation regarding some other treatment options. They felt it was a blessing that she got to be home with family for Thanksgiving, since it doesn't look as if she'll be able to come home for Christmas. Jim is thankful to know that our congregation supports him and his family. As Chris mentioned earlier, Mark Mahundro was admitted to UT Medical Center this past Friday with a case of RSV, which is a respiratory viral infection. Yeah, and other vaccines as well. Hear, hear. He reports that his condition has stabilized and he may be going home as early as tomorrow. Let's hope for good things. Phil Hamlin is improving after a severe illness. He's at Morning View Rehab, and also they're looking for recommendations for 24/7, at least initially, home health care services in the Marable area. So if anyone knows of any, please let Phil know. Right. Yes, what? Yes. And Bob Swain former minister here at TBUC has been hospitalized recently. We send love and light to him and his family. So for all the joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken, we hold each other in the light.
Our reading for today comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Martin Luther King, so a believer in spirituality and social action, of blessed memory. This meditation is about brushing your teeth. Brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth, I vow to speak purely and lovingly. When my mouth is fragrant with right speech, a flower blooms in the garden of my heart. Each toothpaste manufacturer tells us that their brand will make our mouth clean and our breath fragrant. But if we do not practice right speech, our breath can never be completely fragrant. In Vietnamese, we say, "Your words smell bad," to mean your words are not kind or constructive, but rather they are sharp, slanderous, and misleading. Our speech can build a world of peace and joy in which trust and love can flourish, or it can create discord and hatred. Right speech means that our words are both truthful and beautiful. In 1964, several of us founded a new Buddhist order, the Order of Interbeing. The 9th precept of the order reads, "Do not say untruthful things for the sake of personal interest or to impress people. Do not utter words that can cause division or hatred. Do not spread news that you do not know to be certain. Do not criticize or condemn things that you are not sure of. Always speak truthfully and constructively. Have the courage to speak out about situations of injustice, even when doing so may threaten your own safety. When we remember to speak words which are true, kind, and constructive, we nourish a beautiful flower in our hearts, and we can offer its sweet fragrance to everyone." Let's enter into a time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of hope, Spirit of justice. God, known by many different names, you have given us a day unique from any other. You have connected us, all of us, with each other and with the world in ways that are largely mysterious to us. You have given us little instruction other than to be present in our own lives, to feel the wonder at the creation of the universe, and to love one another. You have put gifts and challenges in our paths, joys and sorrows, strengths and frailties, some of which we have already encountered, and others we have yet to discover. On this unique day, may we receive exactly what it is that we need. Let us enter into a time of silent worship together. Amen. You may remain seated for our second hymn, which is the Meditation on Breathing, hymn 1009 in the teal hymnal.
We're going to start out together and end together with the drone. And then you can make up harmonies to the verse or the descant. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Repeat. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. This is the melody. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, here comes the descant. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Quieter. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, back to the drone. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and the last time, breathe out.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here. Before I say anything else, let me say thank you to everyone that helped with all these decorations and all. I have no idea who those little elves or gremlins or helpers were, but you guys did a great job, so thank you. We look really, really festive. So this day is a generosity offering Sunday. What that means is that 100% of any contribution that you give today goes to the general operating fund of TVUUC. Super easy to give. If you're here in the sanctuary, there will be baskets passed in a few minutes, checks, cash. If you want to use a debit card or a credit card, there's a giving kiosk out in the lobby. If you're sitting in the building or if you're watching online, you can text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. Also, if you're watching on a screen or tablet, there should be a button or a bar that says Give Now. Press that. Should take you to our secure giving site. As we enter into the next few weeks, we are opening up our Share the Plate voting time. You all did a great job. We had 19 organizations that have been nominated for the 12 spots for next year. So be on the lookout. Starting on Wednesday, when you get your newsletter, there should be an article in there and a link where you can go and vote for the 12 organizations that you would like TVUUC to partner with for this coming year. Thanks for giving. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day.
Our opening hymn this morning was a traditional Advent hymn, People Look East. And so it seems appropriate as we look east to reflect on the Buddha this morning. Many years ago, I was with my daughter in a shop called the Green Earth Emporium, which was in, once upon a time, in a shopping center in Bearden. And we were walking through there. It had it was sort of a new age store, had a lot of different kind of cool figurines and things like that. And my daughter kept pointing out things that she wanted. She said, I want this, I want that, I want this. So I decided to try to dispense a little fatherly new age wisdom. I said, you know, the Buddha taught that it's our own desires that make us miserable. And the more we desire, the more miserable we become. And my daughter was quiet for a moment, and then she pointed at a shelf and said, look, there's a Buddha statue. We could get that. And she was right. There was a Buddha right there on the shelf. So the first noble truth of Buddhism is life is suffering, and it's our own desires that tend to lead us to our misery, our own cravings. In other words, there's this fundamental condition of human nature that our misery can never be completely relieved by a shopping spree. Our unhappiness can never be completely removed by a little retail therapy. Ultimately, consumerism is not a path toward enlightenment. Nevertheless, and you got to be careful before you send me a photo because it might become a sermon topic. Heather Finney was in Japan at the city of Kyoto, and she sent me a picture of a Buddhist vending machine, which immediately captured my imagination. In America, we associate vending machines with sugary sodas, candy bars, snacks, junk food of various kinds. We don't really tend to think about it in line with spirituality, but through the modern capacity of social media, I have now on my phone a picture of a Buddhist vending machine. As far as I know, there is only one Buddhist vending machine on the earth. I did some internet research trying to find if this was a movement. There were machines other places, and the only one I could find any information about was this machine in Kyoto in Japan. Even so, I think the idea of a Buddhist vending machine is worth contemplating as we enter into the holiday season, which is so often a time of rampant consumerism. Malls are bustling with holiday shoppers. We are living in that time where the line between materialism and spirituality tends to grow thin or non-existent, a time when advertisers seem to be wanting to cultivate our cravings and our desires, multiply our wants. I guess the idea of a Buddhist vending machine shouldn't be too surprising because in this age where we can shop 24/7 online, there are lots of products that are geared towards spiritual seekers in general and Buddhists in particular. Almost an endless collection of books, prayer beads, meditation cushions, singing bowls, incense, travel altars, amulets, bracelets, lamps, statues, figurines, audio-guided meditations on CD or streaming services, and much more. And this is why our desires can make us miserable, because they are almost endless. There's really no end to the list of things we could possibly want. There's a Zen saying that feeding our desires does not lead to peace any more than drinking salt water quenches our thirst. The story is told about the Buddha, and it has the quality of a legend because there are many Jataka tales of different lifetimes where the Buddha took many different forms, sometimes animal forms. In this case, he was a human that wanted power, and over the ages, he managed to become emperor of the whole world. And he was happy. He was happy as emperor of the whole world until one day he thought maybe it would be a little bit better in heaven. And through some sort of miracle, he was transported to heaven, and he was happy. He was happy for a little bit, but then he realized he was only on the lowest level of heaven. And so he realized there were many, many layers of heaven to get to the top. And so he decided to climb the corporate spiritual ladder. And it said it took him 30 million years, going one level to the next, till he was at the highest heaven. And there, the God of all the other gods agreed to share their throne with the Buddha. So Buddha is on the throne in the highest heaven, sharing the throne with a God, when one day, and he's happy. He's happy for a little bit. But then one day he thinks, you know, what I'd really like to do is rule the highest heaven all by myself. I'd like to be the one in charge. And with that selfish thought, he tumbled all the way back down to earth. 30 million years of spiritual evolution undone by one desire, one craving. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they say you have a problem when one drink is too many and 1,000 never enough. And there's similar kinds of cravings in other forms of addiction, whether it be alcohol or drugs, food or gambling, sex, power, wealth, fame, or any kind of consumerism, trying to take something outside and bring it inside to make us happy. An addiction is a spiritual condition because it is a craving for the infinite. It's a craving for the infinite. To quote a country music song, addiction is all about looking for love in all the wrong places. seeking the infinite where it can never be found, seeking it through experiences that can never ultimately satisfy. During the holidays, advertisements try to prime the pump of our consumer addictions, but just as salt water can never quench our thirst, consumer addictions can never ultimately lead to peace. The Dalai Lama of Tibet once wrote about this in the book where he is in dialogue with Archbishop Desmond Tutu about the source of joy for all people. He wrote, "The problem is that our world and our education system remains focused exclusively on external materialistic values. We are not concerned enough with our inner values. Those who grow up with this kind of education live a materialistic life, and eventually the whole society becomes materialistic. But this culture is not sufficient to tackle our human problems. The real problem is here. The real problem is here. Materialistic values cannot give us peace of mind and more peace in our world. Everyone seeks happiness, joyfulness, but from the outside, from money, from power, from a big car, from a big house. Most people never pay much attention to the ultimate source of the happy life, which is inside, not outside." Which leads me back to the Buddhist vending machine. From this picture Heather Finney sent me, you can't really tell what the vending machine is selling, so I decided to do a little imaginative exercise. What might be in the Buddhist vending machine? As I shared earlier, one of my favorite meditations is by the Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, a meditation on brushing your teeth, where he says, "Each toothpaste manufacturer tells us that their brand will make our mouth and our breath fragrant. But if we do not have right speech, our breath will never be fragrant." In other words, every time we speak, we need to be mindful of our words and how they impact others, whether they lead to mutual respect, whether they affirm the worth and dignity of every person. So it occurred to me that one of the things a Buddhist vending machine could sell is Buddhist toothpaste. So when we brush our teeth, we could be mindful of how fragrant our breath is, how fragrant our words are. Along these lines, the vending machine could also dispense earwax removal kits so that we could listen to others with the ears of compassion, or lens cleaners so we could clear our lenses and look at one another with the eyes of empathy. Or it could dispense razors. That's a common metaphor in Buddhism. Because Buddhist monks shave their head, there's a saying among Buddhists that it is better to shave your heart than to shave your head. It's better to shave your heart of attachments or desires or cravings than it is just to have the outward appearance of a monk, a shaved head. Indeed, in Buddhism, almost any material thing, this is interesting, almost any material thing can be used as a point of reflection, a point of meditation that can help us practice mindfulness. So it's not a clear line between the material and the spiritual. Any material thing can help us meditate more. For instance, even in one of our vending cans on the side of the road, vending machines on the side of the road on one of those highway stops, if we drink a soda, we can look at the empty can and ponder the nature of impermanence, the impermanence of everything in a natural order. Once there was soda in this can, and now there isn't. Or a wrapper, a candy bar after we've eaten it. Once there was a candy bar in this wrapper, but now there isn't. And this can help us be mindful of our own mortality, because one day our own bodies will be an empty container, an empty wrapper that will return to the earth. So any material thing can become a point of reflection and help us practice mindfulness. However, let me return to the actual vending machine, and the one thing I found out that it did sell. It sells figurines, and it sells amulets, and it sells protection charms. And one of the figurines it sells is the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin. So here's a picture of her. She has lots of arms. Bodhisattva of compassion, the Bodhisattva of mercy. The Christian missionaries mistook her for a goddess. Bodhisattvas and goddesses are similar, but a little bit different. They called her the goddess of compassion. And others have called her the Madonna of Buddhism. She is sometimes pictured riding on the back of a dragon, so she is a symbol of power and energy and vitality. So to have a figurine of her on your altar or to carry around an image of her is to tap into power and vitality and energy. Oddly enough, my mother, who, blessed memory, who lived in Asheville, North Carolina, had a statue of Kuan Yin in her garden. And in the days after her death, I was wandering in her garden and I noticed the statue there. And I kind of wondered, I didn't have a chance to have a conversation. Why did she choose Kuan Yin? Because she was Christian, not a Buddhist. And it could have been St. Francis, it could have been somebody else. But then I looked at Kuan Yin, and I looked at all her arms, and I looked at all her hands, and I realized, what does every mother want? An extra pair of hands. And my mom had 5 kids, so the more hands, the better. So Kuan Yin comes to the rescue. Patron saint, patron bodhisattva of all mothers. And we know how hectic the holiday season can be for mothers. If you ever doubt the Buddhist statement that our desires make us miserable, all you have to do is watch a mother try to navigate her children through a toy store during the holidays. Every meltdown on aisle 3 is a reminder of how our desires can make us unhappy. So it's not materialism here or spirituality here. It comes together, especially in things like the church auction, where there are many good things available that you can still bid on this afternoon. But it is a chance to think of things and reflect on things. And one of the things I've really appreciated about this year's auction is the desire to offer things that build community, gatherings that build community, and making those affordable for all ages, being something that everyone can go to. So materialism in a materialistic season, let us help all that emphasis lead us toward mindfulness. May the products dispensed by every vending machine we come across in our holiday travels remind us to look at this world with the eyes of compassion, to listen with the ears of sympathy, to speak with the fragrant breath of kindness, to contemplate the impermanence of everything in the natural order, to ponder our own mortality, and to work toward peace and goodwill toward all human beings. And to remember whenever we find ourselves in the holiday pandemonium, when we feel like we're losing our minds and going a little bit crazy, just keep our eyes out for that Buddha on a shelf and use it as a chance to practice mindfulness. And may we all know peace. Amen. Our last hymn has some Buddhist themes in it. Hymn 183 in the great hymnal, The Winds of Change. During our musical benediction, I'll be moving toward the back door, and I invite anyone, if you can start right now. We're trying to make our potluck more accessible, so anybody with mobility issues is invited to meet me back there or by one of the back doors so they get ready. Any visitors and our new members can come back with me, and any families with children who need a little head start, run, grab your kids from Sunday school, come meet me back there or in the other door and just musical benediction. As our last act of worship, I invite you to turn and greet your neighbor.